Let me tell you something powerful sometimes. The greatest act of love isn't holding on, it's letting go. When you cling to relationships, situations, or even mindsets that no longer align with who you're becoming, you are robbing yourself of the love, peace, and opportunities you deserve. Loving yourself means valuing your well-being enough to step away from anything that diminishes your joy or disrupts your peace. Loving yourself enough to let them go begins with recognizing your inherent worth. Too often, people remain tethered to relationships and situations that no longer serve them because they seek validation, approval, or a sense of belonging from others. But true belonging, the kind that brings peace, can only be found when you acknowledge your value independently of anyone else's opinion. The desire for approval is deeply rooted in human nature. We all want to feel seen, loved, and accepted. It's not wrong to desire connection, but when that longing begins to control your decisions, it becomes dangerous. You may find yourself shrinking, compromising your standards, and silencing your voice just to avoid the discomfort of being alone. But here's the truth: seeking constant validation from others will never fill the void inside you. The more you chase their approval, the more you teach yourself that your worth is something to be earned when it was never meant to be conditional. When you truly love yourself, you stop asking, "Am I good enough for them?" and start asking, "Are they aligned with the version of me I am becoming?" That shift in mindset is the foundation of self-respect. It means you no longer measure your value based on how much someone else needs or wants you. Instead, you measure it by the way you honor your own peace, growth, and dignity. It takes courage to recognize when a relationship no longer reflects your self-worth. Maybe you felt overlooked, undervalued, or taken for granted. Perhaps you've been giving and giving while the other person only takes, leaving you emotionally drained. Yet you hold on hoping they'll change, believing you can prove your worth if you try a little harder. But here's the truth: you don't have to convince anyone to see your value. Real love, real respect doesn't require you to perform or beg for attention. The fear of being alone can be powerful, but what if you reframed it? What if solitude wasn't a sign of rejection, but a season of personal discovery? Loving yourself enough to let them go means trusting that you can stand alone without losing your sense of identity. It's realizing that your worth was never tied to their presence, but has always been yours, unchanged, unshaken. Think about this: when you hold on to people who treat you like an afterthought, you're teaching them that you'll tolerate being undervalued. But when you step back, when you choose yourself, you send a powerful message not just to them, but to yourself. You're saying, "I am enough. I am worthy of love that doesn't require me to shrink." And even if they don't realize it immediately, your absence will echo louder than your presence ever could. People often only begin to appreciate what they had when it's no longer within reach. And while that recognition can be bittersweet, it's never the goal. The goal is your healing, your growth, your wholeness. But let's be honest, letting go doesn't always feel empowering in the moment. It can feel like loss, like failure. The mind will replay memories, whisper questions like, "What could I have done differently?" Yet self-love means understanding that not every ending is a failure. Some endings are necessary. Some closures are the beginning of a healthier, fuller version of you. When you let go, you aren't just saying goodbye to a person. You're releasing the version of yourself that settled for less than you deserved. You're walking away from the belief that love has to be painful to be real. You're embracing the truth that real love, whether it's from others or within yourself, will never require you to abandon your own needs to keep it alive. And this isn't just about romantic relationships. It applies to friendships, professional spaces, even family dynamics. Loving yourself enough to let them go means setting healthy boundaries, recognizing when your presence is being taken for granted, and having the courage to choose peace over proximity. The hardest part is trusting that when you let go, you won't be left empty-handed. But the truth is, you never lose yourself when you choose yourself. You gain clarity, you gain strength, you gain the freedom to attract relationships that reflect the love you've discovered within. And so let them go, not from a place of bitterness, but from a place of boldness. Not to punish, but to protect. Not to make them miss you, but to remind yourself that you were never meant to be overlooked. Because when you finally see your worth, the world will have no choice but to see it too. There is a profound truth in the power of absence. Sometimes stepping back and creating space reveals more about a relationship than constant presence ever could. When you are always available, always present, people can become accustomed to your presence without fully valuing it. Absence, however, forces reflection. It creates a void where your presence once was, and in that void, clarity often emerges both for you and for those around you. Human nature tends to take for granted what feels permanent. When someone is constantly within reach, their presence can be perceived as expected rather than appreciated. But when you step back, it disrupts that expectation. It causes people to reflect on what they had, what they miss, and what your presence truly meant. Absence allows others to experience life without you in a way that mere words cannot convey. But the power of absence is not about manipulating others or trying to make someone miss you out of spite. It's about self-respect. It's about self-respect. It's about recognizing that your time, energy, and presence are valuable and should not be given away freely to those who fail to appreciate them. Choosing to step back isn't a strategy to control others, it's a boundary to protect your peace. When you love yourself enough to step back, you create space not just for others to evaluate your presence, but for yourself to gain clarity. Emotional distance often reveals truths that proximity can blur. You may realize how much energy you were investing in relationships that were one-sided, or how often you were compromising your own well-being just to keep the connection alive. Absence allows you to step out of the emotional noise and assess the relationship for what it truly is, not just what you wish it could be. Stepping back also provides an opportunity for emotional detox. When you are constantly in the presence of someone who drains you or undervalues you, it can be difficult to hear your own thoughts and feelings clearly. Absence gives you the silence needed to reconnect with yourself, to remember who you are without the influence of their opinions or expectations. It reminds you that your identity is not tied to how others perceive you, but to the truth of your inherent worth. And while absence can be a powerful teacher for others, it's important to understand that some people will never fully appreciate your presence, no matter how long you step away. That realization can be painful, but also liberating. It frees you from the illusion that your value depends on someone else's recognition. Their inability to miss you or acknowledge your worth does not diminish your value. It reveals where they stand, not who you are. Yet for those who do care deeply, absence has a way of deepening appreciation. It provides perspective. When you remove yourself from a situation where you were constantly available, it forces people to consider the impact you had on their life. They begin to notice the kindness you offered, the support you provided, the energy you brought into their world. And sometimes it takes that distance for them to understand the depth of what they had. But regardless of how others respond, the greatest impact of absence is the growth it fosters within you. It teaches self-trust, the belief that you can stand alone without losing yourself. It builds emotional resilience as you learn to be at peace in your own company. It reinforces that your presence is a gift, not a guarantee, and that you have the power to decide where and how you share that gift. Absence also tests the strength of relationships. Healthy connections can withstand distance without losing their depth. In fact, they often grow stronger because they are built on mutual respect and genuine care, not convenience or proximity. If a relationship cannot survive your absence, it may have been based more on habit than true connection. There's courage in stepping back. It takes strength to say, I will not beg for what should be freely given. It's an act of faith in yourself, faith that what is meant for you will remain, and faith that anything that fades away was never truly aligned with your purpose. And while the idea of letting someone miss you may sound romanticized, it's less about making a statement to others and more about affirming a truth within yourself. When you choose to step back, it's not because you're trying to teach someone a lesson, but because you finally learned your own. You've learned that your presence is a privilege, not an entitlement. You've learned that true connection doesn't require constant proximity to remain meaningful. And most importantly, you've learned that your worth is not measured by who stays or who misses you, but by the way you honor yourself with or without their presence. Letting go is not always an act of loss. In fact, it can often be the most powerful step toward growth and transformation. Many people fear that by releasing something or someone, they are giving up on an opportunity or a dream. The truth is, letting go is an essential part of the journey toward becoming the best version of yourself. It's not about rejecting or abandoning, it's about freeing yourself to evolve and become who you're meant to be. When you hold on to people, situations, or even expectations that no longer serve your growth, you are essentially tying yourself to a past version of yourself. There's nothing wrong with cherishing memories or appreciating the experiences that have shaped you, but when they no longer add value to your present or future, holding on to them becomes a form of self-sabotage. The key to growth is recognizing that the person you are becoming requires space to flourish, and that space can only come by releasing the things that are no longer aligned with your potential. In any area of life, whether it's a relationship, a job, or a goal, there comes a time when you need to step back and ask yourself, is this helping me grow? Or is it holding me back? Growth requires movement, and in order to move forward, you must be willing to leave behind anything that keeps you stuck in old patterns. Letting go is not a sign of weakness or defeat. It's a courageous decision to make room for something better. It's a conscious choice to believe that there is more for you beyond what you've known, even if that means stepping into the unknown. There's a common misconception that letting go means giving up. People often associate releasing something with failure or defeat, but the reality is that letting go can be a sign of strength. It takes courage to recognize that what you once thought was your destiny may no longer be a part of the plan. Letting go opens up the possibility for new opportunities, new relationships, and new adventures that align with who you are becoming. And this isn't just about moving away from negative situations, it's about creating the space for your life to be filled with experiences that elevate you. It's important to understand that growth doesn't always mean going after something new. Sometimes growth means clearing out the old so that you can experience the new. Just as a garden must be cleared of weeds to allow healthy plants to grow, your life must be cleared of anything that hinders your progress. These weeds may not always be bad things. They might be old dreams, habits, or even people who no longer contribute to your well-being. And though it may feel painful to let go, remember that every inch of space you create will be filled with something more beautiful and more aligned with your future. Letting go also involves releasing control. Sometimes we hold on to people and situations because we want to control the outcome. We believe that by staying in a certain place or holding on to a particular relationship, we can dictate how things will turn out. But the truth is, life is unpredictable and control is an illusion. The more we try to control the things around us, the more we limit our own freedom. By letting go, we release the need to control and open ourselves to the flow of life. This doesn't mean we give up on our dreams or aspirations, but we release the tight grip on how we think things should unfold. Instead of controlling the process, we trust that the journey will unfold exactly as it's meant to, bringing us closer to the person we are becoming. We resist letting go because we fear we'll be left with nothing. But in reality, letting go makes room for something far greater. When you hold on to something that no longer serves you, you're essentially occupying space that could be used for something more fulfilling. The energy you invest in maintaining a stagnant situation could be redirected toward building something new. You're not losing what's meant for you, you're making way for the next chapter, the next opportunity, the next adventure. And as you let go, you may be surprised at how quickly new, more aligned opportunities begin to appear. Letting go is also a spiritual practice. It's an act of surrender, trusting that the universe or God has a plan for your life that is far greater than your own understanding. It's about releasing the need to control the outcome and trusting that what's meant for you will find its way to you. In doing so, you allow yourself to be open to the flow of life and the abundance that's waiting for you. The process of letting go is an invitation to trust, to believe that something better is on the horizon, even if you can't see it right now. As you let go, remember this: you're not losing anything. You're creating space for what's next. You're releasing the weight of what no longer serves you and making room for the dreams, relationships, and opportunities that are meant to shape your future. When you let go, you're choosing yourself. You're choosing growth. You're choosing to become the person you were always meant to be. And in that decision, you are always moving forward. Faith in the future is a powerful force, one that allows you to navigate through life's challenges with the certainty that better things are ahead. It's the belief that every step you take, no matter how difficult, is leading you toward a higher purpose. When you trust the process of life, you let go of the need to control every outcome and instead embrace the flow of events, knowing that they are guiding you to where you need to be. This kind of faith requires patience and resilience, but it also fuels hope and provides the courage to move forward, even when the path is unclear. Life will present obstacles that make it hard to believe in what's coming next. It's easy to become discouraged when things aren't happening as quickly as you'd like, or when setbacks make it feel like you're losing ground. But faith in the future doesn't rely on immediate results. It's not about seeing instant outcomes, but about believing in the bigger picture, the unfolding journey that you cannot always predict, but can always trust. It's knowing that while you may not have all the answers right now, you are still on the right path. The difficulty you're facing today is preparing you for something greater tomorrow. Even when you can't see the full picture, your faith will anchor you in the present, allowing you to trust that what's meant for you will find its way. Believing in the future requires letting go of fear and doubt. It requires releasing the notion that things must unfold according to your timeline and instead embracing the timing of your life. We often stress over what isn't happening when we want it, but we fail to recognize that everything is happening exactly as it should. The right people will come into your life at the right time. The right opportunities will appear when you are ready to receive them. Your faith in the future is what allows you to walk confidently, even in moments of uncertainty, because you trust that everything is happening for a reason, even if that reason is not immediately clear. One of the most powerful aspects of faith is its ability to shift your mindset. When you truly believe in a bright future, you begin to take actions that reflect that belief. You make decisions with the knowledge that your efforts will eventually pay off, even if the rewards aren't instant. Faith in the future helps you act with purpose and intention. Because you're no longer bogged down by fear of failure or disappointment, you become driven by the belief that every step you take is moving you closer to your goals, even when the progress seems slow. It's like planting a seed in the ground and trusting that with time, it will grow into something beautiful. You don't rush it, you water it, nurture it, and believe that the harvest will come in due season. Letting go and trusting the future also means recognizing that not everything will go according to your expectations. Life rarely follows a straight line, and often the paths you envision for yourself may not materialize in the way you imagined. But faith in the future allows you to embrace these detours and trust that they are part of your journey. What may seem like a setback today could be setting you up for something even better tomorrow. Faith teaches you that you are not defined by your current circumstances, but by your ability to persevere through them. The most significant growth often occurs in the moments when you feel most uncertain. It's in those moments that your faith is strengthened and your resilience is built. Letting go of the need to control the future allows you to focus on the present moment. It frees you from the anxiety of trying to force things to happen on your timeline. Instead, you live in the confidence that everything you need will come to you at the right time. When you have faith in the future, you no longer feel the need to rush or chase after things. You trust that what is meant for you will find its way. This faith allows you to act with patience, knowing that everything is unfolding as it should. It gives you the confidence to let go of what's no longer serving you, knowing that something better is just ahead. In this space of trust, you learn to align your actions with your faith. You make decisions that are in harmony with your beliefs about the future, and you take steps each day that move you toward the life you want to create. Faith in the future isn't passive, it's active. It encourages you to move forward, even when you don't have all the answers. It motivates you to keep going, even when the journey feels long. And it gives you the strength to face challenges with hope, because you know that they are part of the process, not the end of the road. Your faith in the future also empowers you to let go of what's not meant for you. It teaches you that you don't need to cling to anything or anyone out of fear of losing it. If something or someone is meant to be in your life, it will stay. If not, letting go makes room for something better. Trusting the future allows you to release attachment to things that no longer align with your purpose, and to make space for the relationships, opportunities, and experiences that will bring you closer to your dreams. Faith in the future is a quiet but powerful force that keeps you grounded in the present while encouraging you to trust in what's to come. It's the assurance that no matter what happens, you are always moving forward, always growing, always becoming. And no matter what you face, you can trust that the best is yet to come. The journey to loving yourself enough to let go, to create space for something greater, is not always easy, but it is undeniably transformative. It requires strength, patience, and the faith to trust that what is meant for you will find its way. By stepping back, allowing others the space to miss you, and releasing the things that no longer serve your growth, you open the door to a future filled with opportunities and relationships that will uplift and support you. You don't have to hold on to what is fading away in order to prove your worth. The greatest act of self-love is realizing that your presence is a gift, one that should be shared with those who truly value it, and that your worth is not defined by others' acknowledgement. Letting go is not an end, it's a new beginning. When you trust that your life is unfolding exactly as it should, you free yourself from the limitations of fear and doubt. You embrace the beauty of the unknown, knowing that the future holds more than you could ever imagine. Every step you take in faith brings you closer to your purpose and the person you are destined to become. Remember, your future is not just something that happens to you, it's something you create through your choices, your actions, and most importantly, your faith in yourself and the journey ahead. Love yourself enough to let go, to create the space needed for new beginnings, and to trust that every moment is leading you toward the life you were always meant to live. Let them miss you, but more importantly, let your absence reveal your worth. You are deserving of all the blessings that are yet to come, and when you make room for them, you'll find that the best is truly yet to come.